And we're in. It's the first game in between the best of 5 series of Nilpferd and Zaryab. We have on the left side in red we have Nilpferd, and in the green let me alt G by the way. We have Nilpferd in the blue on the left side, and in the red on the right side we have Zaryab. And both players going for the one stable start. Nope, no, not on both sides. Zaryab is choosing to go with a distribution of villages on one side and a one stable start on the other side. We've seen different approaches for this map very often, and seems like they're going kind of for the same strategy here, which is a kind of a standard build order on both sides of the map, with a few stables, with a few barracks, and with a lot of barracks actually, and a few ranges going on either side of the map. And it seems like Nilpferd has a bit better start here, sniping a lot of villages. It's now 14 to 11 villages, at 4 villages advantage, 3 villages advantage already. In the military count seems about equal, though Nilpferd is taking a lot of paladins to raid here. And yeah, he's rushing from 2 bases, and that's quite impressive actually, if you look at it. And Into the Mansion here, who has played yesterday I think, already mentioning that as well. And as we can see, the military numbers are kind of equal now. The villager numbers also fairly even. I'm kind of surprised by that. But still a nice approach here from Nilpferd, trying to snipe as many villages as possible. Now there's the market from Zaryab. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the market on this map in particular, because you run out of resources so quickly and you can get gold so easily because there's so much gold on the map. The map here really fairly distributed, though the middle seems to be very important on this particular map, because most of the gold, actually most of the extra golds, are in the dead center of the map. And seems like Nilpferd is already heading out to the center of the map, while still keeping Zaryab enclosed in his own base and keeping him busy. Now it's a lot of things going on here. Villager numbers are still fairly even. Zaryab's military count is at an advantage, though Nilpferd has definitely a better position on the map itself and has a lot more map presence while developing his economy as well. Now this hill here is pretty much the key for this game, I think. If you can get this hill over the course of this game, while other golds run out, you will eventually have this game in your bag, because you can get all these golds, basically, if you have a castle on this hill, if you fortified this hill. Now, as we can see, Zaryab making full use of his market, I guess. Did he actually sell anything? Yes, he did. He's making full use of his market and pushing the middle, which is a very good choice, of course, as I've mentioned before, because of these golds. While kind of not really managing to fortify this position here. He won't be able to reach out to these golds, these extra golds, and he also has a hard time really getting out on the map, developing his economy, but he's really nicely pushing the middle here, which is the only saving race he has at the moment. If you look at the villager numbers, it's 62 to 30, so in the long run, even though Zaryab now has the middle here, he will eventually run out of gold, run out of resources, and might lose this game in the mid game. His resources are looking quite fine actually in the moment in comparison to Nilpferd, though we have to mention that Nilpferd had to, most of his resources of Nilpferd went into the economy. So Zaryab has to build this economy first, and he's now building a castle on this hill, which is a very good choice. And Nilpferd needs to be cautious not to be overrun entirely now. And as we can see, Zaryab only pushing one side at all. And if you look at the KD, yeah, it's pretty atrocious here for Nilpferd. And that's exactly what I pointed out. He doesn't eco at all, and that could be the downfall for him on this map. And Nilpferd also doesn't really let him eco. It's 103 to 16 villages, and if Zaryab doesn't push this in the next 2 to 3 minutes, it's basically over. And develops an economy on the way there, basically. Does Nilpferd hate horses? No, I don't think so. He likes horses. Horse force all the way. He didn't produce so many paladins as Zaryab did though, because he didn't use the market. But I think the use of the market will be Zaryab's downfall in the end, and not really the managing to develop an economy. As we can see at the population, actually, it's 190 to 80 at the moment, and only 17 villages. So this game is practically over. Because he can't really... He has the food to build an economy, but he has no stone. He has 40 Cs maybe, and producing villages from there, but that's not really a mega boom as you would call it. Some might call it. So yeah, I don't think that Zaryab can really do anything from this point. As soon as he loses his castles, it's pretty much over. And also he can't really access a gold pile at the moment. He has this gold pile, this one gold pile here, but no villages whatsoever. 19 villages to 130. The only thing that keeps him in this game is the military presence, which is at 70, but that's could get whittled down quite nicely. And as Interdimension is pointing out here, it's hard to balance village number in double Arabia, and Nilpferd is going for 150, and he's correct. But that shouldn't hurt him too much, because he can just trade army all day long with this economy. He has a lot of gold banked up, 3k gold banked up. Almost have same second base, yeah. So I'm gonna do chat off here for a second. So I think this game should be in favor of Nilpferd. He's now bringing in even more rating. His macro game is really strong as well, and killing more and more villages as well. And Zaryab should running out of resources. Yeah, he's running out of resources now, and 50 population, and it's GG. Well played by Nilpferd. Quite a convincing win, I have to say. 1-0 for him, and now it's going to the home map of Zaryab, with the civilization being Mongols, I think, and with Zaryab's home map. And it's Mongols GA. I think Nilpferd should still be... He's very strong with macro intensive, and with siege intensive civs, in my opinion. You may object to that, but that's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. What do you guys think of the HD remake of AoE 2? Well, it's very badly developed, in my opinion. It could have been... There's a lot of potential in it, and a lot of user potential in it, but just poorly developed, and doesn't really have anything for development team to fall back on. So that's quite a sad thing to see. That's Zaryab, by the way, this face. Alright, let's go into the second game now, shall we? So, and we have, in the south, we have Nilpferd as the Mongols. And in the north, we have Zaryab as the Mongols as well. On Zaryab's home map, because they lost game 1, Green Arabia with the set civ Mongols. And as I've pointed out before, Nilpferd should theoretically be the one who's coming out on top here, but maybe Zaryab has something planned out here. Now, currently, Nilpferd is leading 1-0 in this best of 5 series, and the loser of this game will go down to the silver bracket, and the winner will maintain in the Gold Cup bracket, which will then advance to the round of 16, and if you win that, you're enter the Gold League. And in the Silver League, you're on the Silver bracket, you basically compete to getting into the Silver League. Now let's see. Nilpferd is going for a 6 stable start, as for Zaryab he's going for 5 stables. There's not much difference in it. And also going for the first castle as well. Let's look at the relic place. Let's look at the gold placements. They're slightly in favor of Nilpferd in my opinion. The extra golds are more to his side. If he gets that hill, it's very important in the long run, because it covers this extra gold here. This one extra neutral gold, and there's another neutral gold. Nope, never mind. This one's for. There's another neutral gold in the back, kind of Zaryab's, while the other secondary, thirdly goal of his, one of his secondary goals, is kind of in the middle of these two players. So this hill and this hill will be detrimental to the game. And if we look at the relic placements, they're kind of even for both players. Now, in the first few minutes, it's basically about getting the superior position on the map in these slower civ wars. It's not really killing your opponent right away, because that's pretty hard with the camel civs and all of these castles. It's more about getting every edge you can, killing as many villages as you can, preventing your enemy from going out on the map, and getting a superior position for the longer game. As you can see, Zaryab already choosing to not place the castle on the hill. Maybe he's seeing that Nilpferd already has placed the castle here on the hill, so he's placing it downhill, which is of course quite a disadvantage. Now, first fight seems to be going quite nicely here for Zaryab, while Nilpferd seems to be wasting a lot of army here. He is now the army is actually even. Army is actually even, and villager numbers are slightly in favor of Nilpferd. And Nilpferd already going with siege rams, which is kind of surprising to me, because they're easily taken out by siege oranges and mango dye as well. So, still sniping at all of villages. I like this play from Nilpferd, not letting Zaryab develop any economy whatsoever, and not letting him out on the map as much as Zaryab might desire to do. Nice castle here from Zaryab, though it gives him a little bit of map control, though not really giving him any really space out on the map itself. Now, nice fight here from Zaryab in the middle of the map. As you can see here, his kill to death ratio is very highly in favor of Zaryab, and Nilpferd has trained a lot of more units over the course of this game. The thing is that this might not hurt him as much as it seems, because if he maintains the superior position on the map, which he doesn't quite have if he doesn't have this hill, because he only has this hill, then it might not hurt him in the long run. Because if you can then defend your superior position, you will ultimately win. But as it looks now, Zaryab is playing really well, and might even push the middle here if he desires to do so, if he brings some siege in the back, or have something basically to back that up. But only 2 castles at the moment and 5 stables, it might not be enough to really push this issue here. Also, his military numbers are still even with Nilpferd, which is so surprising, considering that he killed 50 more units in trade, but he trained 50 less. So that ultimately means that he's pretty much even right now, and also he's losing this position, it seems. But this middle should be secured here for Zaryab. Now Nilpferd needs to be cautious not to run into all these onages. Oh my god, that hurts. Of course, the ping not the best between either these players, so these accidents can happen if you're not paying close attention, but it shouldn't. And that hurt quite a lot. It's now the kill death ratio is 114 to 174. Seems like Zaryab is in quite a nice position here. Now pushing with siege rams up on this hill was, as I said before, very important. And he might even put... Nilpferd needs to be cautious to not lose all of his castles, because that's the really saving grace that's saving him now, or saving his position now. And he's sniping all of the siege rams, and if you get as long as he gets rid of those siege rams, there's nothing really Zaryab can do to take down these castles, and that's what Nilpferd did. And now he maintained his position on this hill, and everything more that Zaryab might invest on taking this hill, I think could be a waste. He should maybe opt for taking down the middle, taking down the main goal for Nilpferd, and then advancing from there, raiding all over the map. But it seems like he's preparing another forward position here on the left side of the map, which could lead to him just devastating a potential economy, or potential economy here on this side, or the center of the center of Zaryab's map. It's not, sorry, Nilpferd's map. What am I talking about? Now seems like Nilpferd's taking another approach on the middle, but he needs to be really careful with these potential siege onager shots coming in from Zaryab. But he has a superior numbers, I think. No, he doesn't. It's 60 to 40. Where is Zaryab's military at the moment? It's kind of all over the map, basically, and a little bit in the center. A lot of full stars for him out on the map. If you look at the villager numbers, it's 89 to 57. So development for Nilpferd's economy is far superior than that from Zaryab. If you look at the resources, though, Zaryab's resources are looking much better than Nilpferd's. Of course, that's due to less numbers trained and more kills. And of course less economy development, because there's a lot of resources going into those villages and into those farms and stuff, and TCs, and oh god, no, this can just go wrong. No, don't. Okay. I'm slightly biased. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I'm a little bit biased. Although I like Zaryab as well, he's a nice guy and we play often, but I'm a little bit biased, of course. So, nice sniping here from the onagers. He nicely baited the onagers kind of on the side of the hill from beneath the castle to snipe them with his onagers. And now he has taken this forward position very nicely. And if he can secure it with a castle, which he easily can, with all these stone backed up, he is in a very nice position to winning this game, I think. So if you take a look at the economy again, it's double the villages for Nilpferd, and I think that will give him the edge he needs in this game in the end. And he's moving on out on this hill with the trebuchets, with the siege onagers, and now it's up to Zaryab to approach this hill, and that's a very hard task to do. Because of course of these villages and the hill disadvantage, he could waste a ton of army here, but now he's approaching this hill, and whoa, that's a nice push. Didn't even notice that, but that's a very nice decision. Reapproaching another hill while you're losing the other. So to distract, of course, firstly to distract your opponent, and secondly to also take this hill by surprise. And that's exactly what he did. He made all of the siege rams and pushed this hill. But I think Nilpferd could have sniped all of those siege rams and all of those Mangudai with his own Mangudai. It seems like now he's focusing his attention on the middle. And as I said before, this forward here not really doing anything at the moment for Zaryab, except for him having relics. That's about it. And now the task for Zaryab will be to secure this hill by his own, either with siege workshops or with castles if he has stone. Let me look. He doesn't have any stone whatsoever. He has nice resources though. Not really a lot of food, but he has a lot of gold and wood banked up, which is a very kind of Zaryab-esque thing to do, banking resources. He's very efficient with his fights and very cautious which fights he's taking, basically. So he often banks up resources, which can often hurt him, but also win him in the game, in the mid game, when not a lot of economy is involved, and he can squeeze out a lot of military and thus ending his opponent. Nilpferd taking the gold again. He might even consider doing another castle here, since Zaryab basically left this hill to approach all of Nilpferd's economy. Nice push here from Zaryab, and might even be caught off guard here, Nilpferd, but seems like he's bringing in some siege rams, bringing in some siege onagers So this could go either very well or very wrong for Zaryab if he doesn't GP. And look at this huge Mangudai army rolling in from Nilpferd. I think best advice for Zaryab would be here to GP, since he doesn't want to lose his entire army, I think. Yep, he GP'd. Killed a lot of villagers from Nilpferd in the process. And still giving Nilpferd a tough time, though 42 to 29 idle villages, man. Now, finally, the left forward coming into play for Zaryab, approaching these castles in a very Hun-esque fashion, with siege rams and cavalry archers, in this case Mangudai. But, of course, the Mongolian army very mobile, not a castle going up on this hill, so Nilpferd can very easily just defend all of these forward pushes. And the thing is that Zaryab might not even be able to maintain this if his economy is not looking in the best of shapes. But seems like he has a lot of more gold and a lot of more wood banked up than Nilpferd. So if he continues like this, if he keeps picking Nilpferd apart, then he might even take this game in the long run. Though Nilpferd has still a little bit of better position on the map in terms of golds. Now let's look at the relics. 4 relics for Zaryab, so that's what he got going for him. He has 4 relics, 1 relic for Nilpferd, and now Zaryab is going for a middle push, and this is just wow so many corpses falling for both players, and I think it was kind of an even fight for both sides. I think they lost kind of even numbers here, even though Zaryab just should have died there horribly. Now both players seem to be playing the waiting game right now. I like how both these players are playing the Mongol War. Very mobile, especially Zaryab, very mobile, really making use of the mobility of the Mongolian army once it gets rolling, and not camping with siege archers all day long, which some players like to do often. So it makes for a very entertaining game. Now, Nilpferd trying to clean out the forward of Zaryab here, but these traps will just get cleaned up by the siege rams. No questions asked if Zaryab desires to kill them. Nope. Okay, what's going on in the middle? Hussars coming in, trying to bring in some raiding, but seems like Nilpferd is perfectly aware of that. Then killing the Hussars and the Nonage in the process, but still losing a lot of villages. It's now 100 to 74 villages. Nice quick wall here from Nilpferd. Really seeing that this could be open for any harassment or any sneak attack and preventing it right away. Nice play here by Nilpferd, preventing a loss of a lot of economy and a lot of buildings, and devastating a huge part of Zaryab's army, while still bringing in some raiding by himself, trying to now kind of enclose Zaryab's position here. And now if you look at the resources, it's 300 gold for Nilpferd and 400 gold for Zaryab. The problem for Zaryab is though that he doesn't have any more gold to mine. He didn't secure this position even though he cleaned it up, so he can't mine this gold, but Nilpferd can. He lost this position here in the middle, so Nilpferd can mine this gold, and thus might even lead to a better outcome for him, having I think 5 to 3 golds in total. If you look at the market, seems like there have been some resources sold. Let me look. Yeah, seems like Nilpferd already sold, so there's another advantage going on for Nilpferd as well. The only really advantage in terms of gold Zaryab has is basically his relics. And maybe if he mines stone and sells that, but that shouldn't be that's not a good advice to take, I think. So now seems like Nilpferd wants to approach the economy of Zaryab now, but with not a lot of units, if you ask me. So this 2 trebuchets at this point in the game hurt quite a lot, in my opinion. But maybe that just acted as kind of distraction to push the middle here. Which I think could have been better if he used the middle as distraction and then full out pushed the side to really attack Zaryab's economy. But Nilpferd is a much better player than me, so he knows better, obviously. And I don't think that Zaryab has enough here to push this issue on the side. So it's just about now for Zaryab to hang on, while still having the inferior economy. The thing about Zaryab's game style is that his strength is pretty much the mid game. In the beginning of his game, he basically takes a lot of cost-effective fights, is preserving army very well, is really running on a very low efficient economy, which then leads to him having always an inferior economy, but also always superior fights because he can afford more army, which then leads into a kind of mid-game push, or translates into a kind of mid-game push, where he has like 20 to 30 more units sometimes because he is less villages. But if you can fend that off, and if you have a better position as the opponent of Zaryab, you will ultimately win the late game, because as you can see, it's now 100 to 70 villages and a lot more army now for Nilpferd, because Zaryab can't really afford anymore to replenish all of his army, and thus it snowballs kind of from there, and then he will ultimately lose. And if you look at it, it's 94 to 63 military, and in total 200 to 130 population. So I don't think that Zaryab will really hold on here much longer. There was actually a short period in this game where I think Zaryab could have pushed Nilpferd when he kind of took the middle, when he kind of took the side hill here, but he didn't really secure the side hill because it didn't have any stone. He could have placed some siege workshops, but that they would have gone down pretty quickly, but it would have been something. And when he had these side pushes going on, so I think there was a little chance, but Nilpferd didn't give him the opportunity really to kill him. So all those Mangadai now going down as well, and I think this should be the big game for Nilpferd. I think we should see the GG right now. GG well played by Nilpferd. Quite an entertaining game. I like the style. And seems like Nilpferd is picking Team Islands as his home map. In the Goth War. If you have any suggestions for the stream, or if there's anything too loud or too low, please let me know in the comment section or in the chat, basically. So Team Islands, not my favorite map, to be honest. It's mostly about it's mostly about the first few minutes, getting more boats out, getting a more efficient start in the beginning. And with Goths on TI though, there's a little bit of a opportunity to land with a few barracks and then going to kill your opponent's villages, and to killing your opponent and taking him totally off land and winning this way. But it's a little bit risky and not really advisable. I think Mentalist won a game this way against Viper in the Awakening like 1.5 years ago or so. We might even see Zaryab doing this, because TM players not really known for their Team Island skills, to be honest. So we have on the southern island, we have Nilpferd deleting his horse. He doesn't like horses, as we've mentioned. As the Goths on Team Islands, his home map. in this best of 5 series, and Zaryab in the red in the northern island, kind of a northern island, northwestern island, I guess. Also has the Goths, and doing kind of a mistake here is already behind on docks, and this could be quite a fast game. He's not obviously not going for the landing yet, but he's already behind in dock numbers. He's 2 to 4 docks. Nilpferd with a very efficient team island start. I had no chance against it. For example, in the little practice games we did, I had no chance at all. And seems like, yeah, Nilpferd already in front massively. And he's queuing fast fire ships. Of course, fast fire ships in the beginning much better than galleons because they're kind of semi-counter them in low numbers. And now already bringing in some demo ships as well is Zaryab, I think. Nicely dragging army wave. But now heavy demolition ships coming up for Nilpferd, and seems like Zaryab is already queuing in his dock, seeing that he's at massive disadvantage at the moment. But a lot of docks. Look at all those docks that Nilpferd is making. He is not taking any risks here. Well, of course, docks also provide visibility on the sides if you look at it. I don't think that he will produce from all of these docks simultaneously all the time, but these docks are also provide a lot of visibility next to production. And look at all those demo ships coming out. Look at all those fire ships. But it won't be enough, I fear, for Zaryab. It's now 30 something military to 20 something military. But demo ships doing a lot of work here, so do the fire ships. But I think that Nilpferd should have the superior army, if you ask me. Seems like though Zaryab is getting a little bit ahead here, or a little bit more grasp on the game itself. Putting all those demo ships, all this. Oh, this is such a messy Team Islands game with all these fire ships, demo ships, and galleons in the mix. But I think now is the time where Nilpferd, with his massive galleon fleet, should be the one who is fighting more cost effectively at the moment, because demo ships don't do much against the massed galleons. Fire ships do okay-ish, not really cost effective, and all those galleons, without being a huge fleet, a huge ball, don't really do the damage for the Zaryab's army, basically. So Nilpferd definitely has the superior position now. He might even consider adding in some cannon galleons to snipe those castles from Zaryab, which are the only really saving grace for him at the moment. But he's walking right into Nilpferd's army, taking one last fight, it seems, because it doesn't really seem like he has any chance whatsoever. So I think that this is his last fight, and then he will call GG right after that, because I don't really think he thought he could win that. He was clearly at a disadvantage, and now it's, if Zaryab doesn't land right away. Oh, there's even a landing going on for Nilpferd. Nice. Nice, he doesn't want to take any risks whatsoever. Also plays the castle on his island to get more visibility, but that's GG. Because effectively now Nilpferd has control of the land and the water, and thus there shouldn't be any question of whoever wins here. Yeah, I think we will see the GG in a few seconds. I don't think that Zaryab can do anything here. Let's look at his docks. There's a lot of fire ships, a lot of demo ships queued up, but as I said before, they're not really doing anything against this huge galleon fleet. And now there's the Goth infantry spam going on in his own island, even though he's the one who has the water disadvantage. Now he's unleashing all of his whole fleet, but they will get crushed, I think. And so is his own economy, so are his villages. And this should be game. And Nilpferd already here. Alright, spoiler alert. Already in the Twitch chat. The multitasking is real. And I think we should see the GG in quite some time. Quite a convincing series from Nilpferd. Really leaving no doubt whatsoever who's going to advance. And there's the GG, well played. 3-0 for Mr. Nilpferd. and he will advance into the round of 16.